be to Jesus. Praise be to the Blessed Mother. My name is Sister Anne from the Prayers of Life group in Naju Shrine. Mama Julia has offered up her excruciating pains for me when my soul and body were devastated and couldn't be recovered, and helped me transform into a completely renewed person. My daily life with her is a testimony of a true miracle. I've been leading a happy and resurrected life, which is totally different from my former days. Thus, I would like to share with you the story of Mama Julia's tearful sacrifice and love for me. First, I would like to start with my physical cure. My mother often had trouble with her stomach since she was young, so she had to undergo gastroscopy procedures countless times. It was inherited from my maternal grandmother. I think a weak stomach runs in the family, and that is why I also suffered frequent stomach aches. While I was studying at university, I indulged in frequent drinking due to the many gatherings and had irregular eating habits. This further aggravated my bad stomach. I also went to Japan, where I lived on my own, and my eating routine became worse. Food in Japan is high in salt, sugar, and fat. These foods tasted so good to me. In those days, every day I got most of my meals at the convenience stores. I had irregular meals and relieved my stress by indulging in eating and drinking immoderately, from which I gained weight by over 10 kilograms. So I started a weight loss program, which had me eat only one food. But it failed, and I repeated the dietary life of eating excess food and skipping meals. I was so busy in the morning getting ready for school that I usually skipped breakfast. I also couldn't have a proper lunch. At school, I worked part-time and came back home late at night. Then I enjoyed meals late with my roommate and went to bed very late at night. Such an unhealthy lifestyle was my daily routine for over a year. My stomach condition became worse and worse until I started to have acid reflux that developed into dizziness. Then I realized I had a serious condition. When my stomach pain reached its peak, I seriously wondered if I had stomach cancer. So I went to see the doctor several times, where he drew up a list of foods that I should avoid, such as alcohol and flour, and asked me not to have them for the time being. Even though I was sick and worried, I persisted in drinking beer and eating flour-based food, meat, etc. I ate them almost every day, which I should have refrained from, because I liked them so much. Once my stomach started to hurt, it would sting and burn and felt like salt was sprinkled on a bleeding wound. So I even tried 3 bags of Gelfos. But it was useless, and there were many times when it felt cold like ice in my stomach, making my daily life impossible. The doctors told me that my condition would improve if I took the prescribed medicine for about 1 month. Unfortunately, it didn't work even after 1 month, and it was the same even after taking other medicines for a month. Even after a few years, my severe stomach pain did not go away. No matter how many medicines I took in the morning, it was to no avail. My stomach ache got worse and worse. Even though I ate the rice gruel or porridge, which is not irritating to the stomach, I threw up and had reflux and acid as well. Even drinking water made me have reflux, and I kept retching. However, last January in 2017, after the first Saturday prayer meeting with Mama Julia in Naju, I realized that I no longer felt stomach pain, even without taking any medicine. I've not taken any medicine for stomach aches ever since, and I'm no longer in pain. My pain is totally healed thanks to Mama Julia's prayer. I was later told that Mama Julia knew about my stomach problem on that day and offered pain amidst her severe suffering. My pain was completely healed through her redemptive suffering. Aside from this, although I have innumerable stories of healing and blessings to share with you, I will share just one more of them. When I was 15 years old, in the 2nd grade in middle school, I was severely beaten by my classmates for more than 3 hours at a construction site. Due to the shocking impact from that incident, I've lost most of my memories of the 3 years in middle school. Even now, I have only some parts of my memory of those days. At that time, my mother heard about the story from my friend who was with me. When I was on my way to church to attend the students' mass, My classmates were waiting for me there and took me here and there. They kept inviting more friends to their group and brought me to a nearby construction site. It was the place where a villa's construction had stopped. As the construction was stopped for more than 2 years, it was dark even in the daytime. Bricks were scattered everywhere, and nailed square bars and iron pipes were tangled. It was said to be such a hideous sight. Then they started accusing me of spreading ill-will rumors about them and the seniors, and beat me up. Because the site was dark, they used cell phone flashlights to illuminate the scene. They slapped my cheeks alternately here and there, pulled out my hair, kicked my whole body, made me kneel down, hit me with a wooden stick, and let me bite a cigarette. I was attacked for more than 3 hours by a group of more than 10 people. They even did not allow 2 of my friends to move at all. My 2 friends who had witnessed the scene later told my mother the brutal violence was beyond description. It was about 11 p.m. when I was finally released, and I cried at a street corner for a while before I went home. Since that incident, I locked myself in my room without coming out from it and lived in darkness. My mom later told me that at the time I was trembling and staring blankly into space, and I looked to be out of my mind. But she said I never cried. I even tried cutting my wrist several times, attempting suicide. My mother decided to take me to Naju after 1 month, and that's when I met Mama Julia. If I had not met her back then, I think I might have become insane and confined to a psychiatric hospital, or probably died and gone to hell. Mama Julia came close to me by opening her arms widely. As soon as I was embraced in her arms, I burst into tears and couldn't stop crying. I, who had not been able to cry for a month, was hugged by Mama Julia and cried bitterly for the first time. That was the only scene that I can recall out of my 3 years of lost memories that I suffered. Whenever I think of her arms when I was embraced and her face, it still brings me to tears. After my meeting with Mama Julia, I came back to light from the darkness. It was a miracle that I could gradually start to smile again and return back to my bright character, but it was still impossible for me to lead a normal life. My family had to move to a different neighborhood and let me transfer to a new school. Even at that new school, I often disappeared from my classes. When my mom was called by the school, she found me crying in the bathroom from the shock of seeing a classmate being hit by my teacher. My homeroom teacher scolded my mother, saying that I was abnormal. My teacher said to my mother that I didn't come to school, even though I left home to go to school. But I could not recall any of it, including running out of the classroom, and even the school, the teacher, and my classmates at the time. I became too sensitive, and my heart was full of grudges, resentment, and hatred. Such adversities got me hooked on worldly pleasures, such as enjoying alcohol, smoking, and shopping. 90% of my conversations were curse words. I was not able to control my anger, irritation, and feeling. I deteriorated into manic depressive psychosis. I was in such a good mood, but then I suddenly felt endlessly depressed. Though I felt good, at any moment when I lost my temper, I was unable to control my anger. So when I was in high school, I screamed out during class once a year, ripped out all the pages of my book, ran out of the class, and even kicked the door of the next classroom while they were in the class. I couldn't control myself to this extent. Whenever I recalled the students who attacked me, I flew into a rage that gave me shivers. I felt like I was out of my mind and wanted to kill them for destroying my life and making a mess within my family. The thought of being betrayed by people always stopped me from trusting them, gave me only negative thoughts, and let me doubt those who were kind to me. I couldn't build up a normal relationship with people, and easily fought against people wherever I went. I thought that even people who had no bad feelings for me were trying to harm me, so I always provoked quarrels, fought with them, and harassed them. My friends called me psycho, or a crazy girl, and I was recognized as a problem child to my high school teachers. I wondered, if Jesus really exists, would he let me live in a mess like this? And I blamed Jesus a lot. and I concluded that there was no God. When people asked me my religion, I answered that I didn't have one. Even at university, I always struggled with anxiety, had nightmares, and screamed at night when I was sleeping. I had the same dreams every day, such as falling off a cliff and someone chasing me to kill me. I was afraid of the dark, so I couldn't sleep alone with the lights off. And even after I turned 20, I often slept next to my parents. For over 10 years, I suffered from sleep paralysis, so I was afraid to sleep. My mother brought me to Naju as if it were a matter of life and death. I hated coming to Naju so much, but I came because I didn't want to disobey my mother, whom I had always hurt. When I came to Naju, I was just amazed to see how friends my age fell into Mama Julia, and they believed Naju was genuine, and they came to Naju by themselves. I thought they were really stupid. I was living a life of committing sins without even knowing it was a sin, and running toward hell, but I really liked that kind of life. Upon graduating from university, I thought of getting a job in Japan, getting married, and living there. I prepared for a job in Japan, and when there was less than a year left before that situation was realized, Mama Julia said, "It will be dangerous for Anne to go on like this. Because Jesus loves her so much, he wants to protect her." Then she asked me to join the Prayers of Life group. Not only did I not believe in Naju, but I denied even the existence of Jesus. But she was asking me to join the religious group. It was really absurd. I thought it would never happen to me, even if a sword threatened to penetrate my neck. I got angry like crazy, asking my mother, "What the hell did you say to Mama Julia that she would ask me to join the religious group?" I made sure that I would never join the group and said to her to not even dream about it. However, I was constantly requested to come for a retreat in Naju, so I couldn't resist it anymore and joined the retreat, making it very clear that such a suggestion may never happen again. After such a retreat, I found myself preparing a list of requirements to join the religious group. Mama Julia's love, sacrifice, and prayers finally changed my heart. I still experienced inner conflict even many times a day, because I made such a drastic decision so hastily. But Mama Julia stood there as a huge support for my decision. Her prayers truly helped me overcome many difficulties, and I finally joined the religious group after 7 months. Such a drastic change in my life was an absolute miracle. Mama Julia's love and sacrifice changed my heart and my life completely. This is such a miracle on the scale of making Buddha convert to Catholicism. Mama Julia offered up even greater love, sacrifice, and pain instead of finding faults with me, even if I did wrong. Even after joining the religious group, whenever I thought of my friends who assaulted me, I felt depressed and suddenly angry. So I told Mama Julia whenever I couldn't endure it. Then at some point, I thought about my family's hurts instead of my own, and I felt so sorry for my family members. I came to realize that I was always annoyed at my parents, who were greatly hurt because of me, thinking only of myself. Instead of me, who only lived the opposite of the life the Lord wanted, Mama Julia offered up penance for all my wrongdoings. And because of that, she suffered more pain than death. I came to know that she risked her life to bring me out, who was in the devil's cart. Even now, thinking of her such love, I'm constantly trying to do well, even though I am so unworthy. Thinking of Jesus, the Blessed Mother, and Mama Julia, I want to live well with the 5 spiritualities and give joy and comfort to them. So I always yearn for it only. As a result, at some point when I thought about those friends who assaulted me, I was no longer angry or resentful, and I have changed to the point where I thought, I hope they come to know the Blessed Mother of Naju and feel the same happiness as I do. I was restrained and always on edge from that wound and couldn't lead a normal life for over 10 years. Now when I think about it, I realize that it was something that the Lord allowed because He had a will for it. It's insignificant, but I'm so happy if I can offer my pain to Jesus, at least even now, so that He may be comforted by it. Because the most important things to me are Jesus, the Blessed Mother, and Mama Julia. Mama Julia must have sacrificed the pain of death and of hell every day to change my heart. Through her sacrifice of bloody tears and love for me, my heart, which was closed as if it were locked with a million locks, was wide open to Mama Julia. And I, who was filled with resentment and anger, felt real happiness for the first time after knowing Mama Julia. The happiness that I found in Naju is on a different level from the happiness I sought in the secular world, while hanging out with friends, having fun, buying the clothes I liked, and so on. I used to carry a smartphone in my hand all the time, but now I carry Mama Julia's book, The Fragrance of the Lord, instead. Even when thinking about Mama Julia, I feel happiness, naturally smile, and see the world as a beautiful place. My old self used to wonder, how can I dress nicely? How can I look prettier? How can I win over others? But now it has changed to, how can I please Jesus? Mother Mary and Mama Julia. I always think of this only. My old self always wanted to give up on life, wondering why I was here on earth. However, I am truly happy because I can live for the Lord, the Blessed Mother, and Mama Julia. I feel like I don't need anything in the world when I think about Mama Julia. She saved me from the dens of devils who couldn't avoid ending up in hell by risking her life and letting me enjoy heaven on earth. I want to repay the favor to Mama Julia, whom I love so much, by dedicating my whole life. Mama Julia accepted me, still such an unworthy sinner, as her own daughter, and always embraces me tightly in her arms. I remember the love and sacrifice of Mama Julia, who loves me so extremely, and I will be her daughter who gives comfort and joy to her by living the life of the 5 spiritualities that she wants me to lead. I return all the glory to the Lord through the Blessed Mother. I give so much thanks to Mama Julia, who is my everything. Mama, I love you so much.